heartbreak in Russia. It's devastating. I'm still not over it, and it's been a week. Poor Lando Norris. Almost got his first win, but sadly, the rain gods decided it wasn't to be. Such a disaster. Have you guys picked yourself up from it yet?
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you fine? Okay. Right, so
Sorry.
great win for Lewis Hamilton then, and that's all.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
happy and nice, and we'll see.
100 wins.
We'll see you next week then. I was gonna want to spend an hour bemoaning Lando's bad luck and choices, but if we're all okay,
Fine.
yeah.
No, I'm only being facetious. It was a nail-biting end to the race, wasn't it? I know I was hoping that he would pull it off.
Sochi's not normally an exciting race, and I wouldn't say this race was too exciting until the last 5 laps when it all just kicked off.
Thank goodness for rain. And Verstappen's grid penalty.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Bottas's, was it or wasn't it strategic grid penalty?
Yeah, well, didn't mean anything in the end anyway.
No.
Right, I feel like I'm jumping around here. Sorry.
No. So, relatively exciting F1, and then another good weekend of British Touring Cars. There's only 2 rounds left now.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's just
flown
flown by. And,
Jinx.
yeah, jinx. That means I can't speak for the rest of the episode, so crack on. So yeah, another good one. So, covered both this week. F1 wise, not really any news apart from Qatar is confirmed.
Yeah.
In a few races time, and it's also confirmed to be a regular on the calendar from 2023 onwards. So they've signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah, nothing for
But not
next
with the
year.
track. Oh, sorry, Nick.
Oh no, it's just saying that it's next year there won't be a race there. There'll be one this year and then back in 2023.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know this track at all, but I think you guys are more aware of it than I am.
Tom more than me, I think. I've seen it a couple of times in the World Touring Cars and was just bored.
Yeah, it was in the World Touring Cars, wasn't it, at night?
Yeah.
They had the only interesting thing they had was some dodgily placed tyre stacks.
which I'm guessing won't be there for F1.
You'd hope not.
Right, so this is used for MotoGP many years. We have a collective friend who doesn't mind it, but every year I get to the new MotoGP video game. It's first race of the season, and it's so bland and unforgettable that I just come to a corner and go, is this a right or a left? And I've done it like a million times. And a part of the element is that the first and second sector are almost like a copy and paste with like a kink in the second sector. If you look at the track map from above. So you get parts of the track which look very, very similar to each other, which doesn't help. And it's completely flat as well. Like there's no undulations or bumps in the track. Plenty of wide asphalt runoffs. It can be run at night. Yeah, would be. I'm just really not a fan because it's almost too inoffensive.
Yeah.
So it's not even bad to have a moan about.
No. I mean,
It's just there.
F1 may be a different thing because I've only seen it in sort of tin tops.
Yeah.
It may, I don't know. I doubt it, but never mind.
You can't judge it on MotoGP because every MotoGP race is good. So you don't like.
Yeah.
It's not really a good way of seeing if it's a good track for Formula One or not. So yeah, but the deal isn't necessarily with this track from 2023 onwards, I believe.
Yeah, I think they even said that they are looking at building a new track for it, but when that is for, I don't know.
I don't believe there's another racing track in circuit even in Qatar. So if there's a different circuit in use, it'll be an all new one, and I mean that's interesting.
Yeah, as long as it's designed properly and not one of those where it's just cobbled together and completely flat.
Yeah, or there's this track in reverse.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have some health and safety standards for the workers who are building the thing,
Yes.
unlike they have had on the World Cup builds.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why there's no race next year, apparently, because the World Cup's happening. They said they want to concentrate on the World Cup, then start.
Makes sense.
December, the World Cup, or late November, through to, like, I think the week before Christmas.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah. It is another track that's new for Formula One.
Yeah.
That won't be in the game. So it's interesting to watch from that perspective.
Yeah.
I just don't have high hopes. That's all. Happy to be proven wrong though, because that means we all enjoy a good race.
Exactly.
7 more races to go this year.
Yeah, 7 at least we're going to get that. So it's going to be a full 22 race calendar.
Mm-hmm.
It was 23 actually. It was planned for, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the two were that they've lost, but one was replaced with Qatar and the other wasn't.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting next year because Miami starts next year as well.
Mm.
We've got Saudi Arabia this year. We've got Australia coming back next year, and then 2023 we're going to have Qatar.
Yeah.
So it'll be weird to see if they end up at 24, 25 races.
I actually kind of hope not.
No.
Yeah.
I like Formula 1, but have we not got too many races?
Never have too many races.
I'd quite like 25 races as a sort of spectator, but I know it's hard work for the teams and the people in the garages.
If the rules next year are amazing,
True.
then the more races the better. If there's a dominant winner, 25 races of Valtteri Bottas winning every single race of the Alfa Romeo is going to be pretty boring.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the news, I think.
I think so.
I don't think there's been anything else. Still only one seat remaining. Antonio Giovinazzi.
Come on, I hope he gets it.
You've really taken a shine to him, haven't you?
I just believe
it's the hair.
It's the hair.
It's what Tom's always dreamed of. It's what he's got halfway to, and then he's been forced to cut it.
Oh man, have you seen this mess of this haircut this week? Oh, anyway, that's that's not for the podcast. Probably best if we talk about qualifying.
Yeah,
not my hair.
Yeah. It was wet, wasn't it? Yeah, it was damp.
Yes.
Oh,
struggling to remember the qualifying now.
Support races were moved or cancelled because of heavy rain.
Yeah,
during the day.
Yeah.
Yep,
FP3 was cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then Max didn't decide not to take part in qualifying because he had a million place grid penalty, so it'd start last anyway. Mazepin was last. Your favourite driver, Giovinazzi, was second last.
Yeah, that wasn't a good time to pitch for a seat, was it?
No. And both Alfa Romeos out in Q1. Both Hasses out in Q1 as well.
Mick Schumacher out qualifying Giovinazzi though is a scalp.
Yeah.
He was frustrated, wasn't he, that he didn't get higher because when it's damp or wet, then it's changeable conditions. It's an opportunity for Haas.
I think it was his highest grid starting position there.
Yeah.
Just because
because all these penalties. Because I'm confused. Did Leclerc also jack it in early because of penalties or something?
Yeah, I think he went out in Q2 or went out in Q1 but didn't go out in Q2.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he changed his engine as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no point in running, but at least he did a lap unlike Verstappen.
Yeah, they introduced their new, I can't remember what it is, MGU H or K. And that's
I think there's a K in there.
Q2 we lost both AlphaTauris, which is a surprise for one of them.
Yeah.
And also Sebastian Vettel didn't make it through. And then Q3, Perez had another shocker. Shock.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
9th. It says he's not very good. Valtteri Bottas, similar, in 7th.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yep. Yeah. Hamilton could only manage 4th. George Russell somehow manages 3rd.
Yeah, brilliant.
Switching on those dries at the right time, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did multiple laps on them towards the end, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first one to go on them.
Yeah.
But pole sitter, first outing ever, Lando Norris, 6/10 ahead of Carlos Sainz. So he absolutely nailed his lap. And
I know, that's a big gap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, superstar.
Yeah.
You would say Ricciardo's done really well in P5 until you see Norris in P1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same for Sainz, really. You would say that's an amazing result.
No, it was good all round for the Sainz, Norris and Russell.
Bottas and Perez should not be out-qualified, regardless of the conditions, I don't think, by Sainz and Norris, but there you go.
No, and I think if Bottas was at the front of the grid, I don't think he would have taken the engine penalty. Personally.
That's quite possibly true, yeah.
Yeah, so he took that penalty between sessions and ended up starting 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Verstappen was still last because of the way penalties are applied.
Yeah.
So Mazepin ended up with 15th and Mick was 14th.
Because didn't Giovinazzi take a penalty and moved up the grid?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because of the other penalties around him. So he actually started higher than he qualified after taking a penalty.
Yeah, that's weird. So he started 16th.
Latifi took a penalty as well, but I can't remember
that was
what
it,
for.
yeah.
He started 18th.
And Latifi was very disappointed with his qualifying as well.
Well, he's got out of Q1, but again, if you compare it to George...
I think he thought he had the same pace because he was actually faster than Russell in Q1.
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking now. He was half a tenth quicker.
He said the car felt the best it had felt in the 3 years that he's been driving it.
Did he make Q2 then?
Pretty sure he did.
Oh, there's no time here on this website for him. That's weird.
Yeah, he made Q2.
All right, fine. No, sorry. I'm getting so confused there. Yes, sorry. He's quicker in Q1, but yeah.
Yeah, the timing screens are all messed up because of the volume of noise.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is confusing. I do apologise, listeners. We don't claim to be full-time professionals, though, so that's fine.
No.
Yeah. So, on the race start, pole positions historically a terrible place to start here. But Norris actually got away quite well. But then the slipstream just kicks in and it's absolutely ridiculous down that straight.
Yes.
It's always shocking every year how you see how strong it is. It's because Stroll goes from nowhere to fourth. Sainz goes from miles behind Norris to suddenly getting past him into turn 2 with a big lock up, and he still manages to make the corner.
Yeah, I thought he was flying off, but he did well to keep it on.
Yeah.
Hamilton tried to get in the slipstream and go up the inside, but ends up just...
It's all a bit awkward.
Yeah, getting squeezed, and then he's, I think, drops down to 7th in the first lap.
Yeah.
Quite tentative, but I suppose that's the right move because in theory he'll catch everybody later and Max is at the back.
Yeah. No one's ahead of him that he needs to worry about.
Yeah.
And then we need to talk about Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, I was waiting for
that. So Fernando in the warm-up lap decided to see how quickly he could take the runoff chicane. So if you run wide at turn 2, you need to take a little chicane through the bollards.
Yeah.
Off track. And
he decided to see how fast he could go through that. And then on lap 1 decided that's the lane he's going to take. And I think he gained... They said he didn't gain places, but I think he did.
He didn't technically, but he did.
He did.
He was fourth going into the corner, and he came out third and let the next person through. But he was only fourth going into the corner because he had no intention of taking the corner.
Exactly.
So it's clever.
He was like 7th or 8th in reality, but because he didn't take I don't know why they drew the line where they did.
Yeah, I know. In previous years, it's been more of a chicane, hasn't it?
Yeah. They took away the bit of the wall that Carlos Sainz hit last year.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit daft having that wall sticking out.
Yeah, but there's no penalty for going off. I've
got a better idea.
The wall away, but yeah, it just needs to be a slightly different situation.
Yeah, it's called a gravel trap.
Yeah, that would work much better.
It literally answers every question in this scenario. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. And Michael Massey said afterwards that they did it exactly as they should. And he says that Alonso was completely compliant with his race notes. So next year, just don't bother with turn 2. Just fly through the outside. And
yeah.
They'll judge it from when you went off. And of course, you're ahead of everyone because you didn't brake.
A couple of key things, I think, with this is that you have to be fortunate enough to have the space to do this move, right?
Yes.
So it's pre-planned, but there's no guarantee that someone else isn't right in front of you. And there's just a car's width for him to do it. So that's... I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I suppose there's an element of being fortuitous with the parting of the waves there. And also, there was this little cheeky radio comment where it's kind of alluding to it if you know the context now. But it says something like, I think it's at the end of qualifying, like, oh, let's get them on the start, he says to his engineer. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, now we know what happened. But at the same time, he's gaming the system, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, in sim racing, you would call it cheesing it.
Yeah.
Where there's like an exploit in the game or something. That's all he's done.
Yeah, he hasn't broken any rules. He's bent them, shall we say?
He's not taking the bloody corner.
No.
I know, but it's the fault of Formula 1, surely, to design the track, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
I just think it's very clever from him, but it's also very cheeky.
Yeah, he has to go to sleep at night knowing what he's done.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be fine with that. Don't worry.
Yeah, considering how things panned out as well.
Yeah,
I think also what's very telling is none of the best. Someone might correct me if I'm wrong here, but none of the social media atomized clips from Formula One or best of highlight onboard bits of the race include Alonso doing that. So clearly FOM knows that it's embarrassing. Otherwise, it'd be shown as a really cool thing. Ooh, look what he did round the outside. I mean, if someone ran off the track normally on the first lap, and if they didn't gain positions, that'd be straight in the best of the onboard clips or something that they show. Like, ooh, look at this rejoin. This one was, we'll just use every angle apart from that. Because it'll show him deliberately missing a normal braking point and taking a line through the runoff area.
It does quickly drop back, though.
Yeah.
It loses all those places it gained for the next couple of laps, because on lap 3, Lewis takes him through turn 3 to take 6, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
So it does drop back, but it's not for the lack of cheating. It's that he drops back. He definitely tries to get away with it.
Yeah.
Then I think we get to our first talking point on lap 6, when Bottas may or may not have been strategically placed in front of Verstappen.
Yeah.
Apparently, he really did need the engine, but we can look at that with sceptical eyes. But he's supposed to hold up Max for as long as he can, and Max just breezes past him through turn 13, 14, and there is no defence at all from Valtteri.
No.
It was like a napkin in the wind, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm just going to fall over now and let you by.
Well, I'm still dubious on this engine thing because he had a brand new engine at Monza.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I feel like the team, in my opinion, the team did everything they could to put him there, forgetting, of course, it was Bottas behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Last week I really added. I'm not saying I'm not you guys in with this, but I really praised Bottas for having a great race.
He was excellent.
Yeah, he was.
But he needs to be excellent every single race in a World Championship winning team.
Yeah. This week he was piss poor. And I might need to edit it piss there to get past the Google maturity ratings, because we've already been flagged for swearing.
Just say it in a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Pick it up like pish.
I should say
pish.
pish.
Got the H in there.
Get your H in and it passes. Pish. He was pish this weekend. So yeah, it was awful. I mean, no defence at all. Just even if he just puts his car on the inside through 13 and
at least
14,
try.
If he gets you around the outside there, then you can say you've made a defence. But he doesn't even try and do anything. What is the point of you, Valtteri?
And then doesn't make progress after that either, really.
No,
which is even more disappointing for me, because you could say he was caught unawares with that, but then he wasn't able to overtake anyone.
No,
the Tinfoil Hat Brigade have claimed that Bottas deliberately had a bad race because he was annoyed. I'm not convinced of that. He may have deliberately not bothered defending from Max as hard as he could have done, but I don't think he deliberately went out to.
Yes, but
get
the
a poor
same
result.
brigade last week said that he did well because of the sacking. So we'll never know, is the answer to that.
Why he didn't defend, though, I don't know. Like you say,
It's bizarre.
just make him go the long way if he's going to get past.
I think we've seen this year. We can say whatever we want about Valtteri. He's relatively quick and all that, but he cannot defend to save himself.
No.
There's a racecraft thing going on there. Oh yeah, because remember
France, the worst defence ever.
Yeah,
like I'm completely crap at everything, but even I know not to defend the way he did at that race.
Yeah.
So there is clearly something wrong with wheel racing where he can't defend. And I can't ever think of a great defensive drive from Bottas ever.
I mean, I'm sure there's one somewhere.
Because I mean, if you think back, Ricardo getting past him at China, stuff like that. It's just
he tried it against Hamilton in Spain. That was when he tried it.
Yeah,
the time was when you saw it was against his teammate.
Yeah, very true. We tried it then and lost spectacularly. Valtteri's been speaking prior to the race, saying he never felt like he had the chance to fight for the title this year. And Kenny putting the blame towards the team. But he never put himself in a position to be given the opportunity to fight. He was rubbish from the get-go. So you have to earn the chance to fight for it, and he never did.
Even if that's off-track politicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. And you've got to put yourself in that position to be able to claim it.
But it is only one race. I mean, no, it's not really, because it's been hit and miss.
Yeah.
We're not saying, I don't think, that he's a terrible driver, or that he can't do well at Alfa Romeo, or that he hasn't got the speed for pole position in races. That's obviously very true.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, there's this defensive lack of, I don't know, like a sharpness.
Yeah, it's almost the mentality, I think. He doesn't seem to.
It could be a mental thing. It could be a new Valtteri Bottas in Alfa Romeo. It could be like Bottas 1.0 in Williams.
Bottas version 17.3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even as that Williams, I thought he was a great driver and he'd be amazing
Yeah.
in Mercedes, and it's just not happened. So I think that's enough Valtteri bashing for this week.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I don't remember seeing him ever again on the TV.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But he popped up at the end, didn't he, because of a tyre strategy call, but
Yeah.
saved his bacon there.
Yep. Lap 10 and Max almost ends up out the race. He comes across
Yes.
Leclerc and Vettel, who are having a great scrap. He tries to be cheeky and stick his nose up the inside of Leclerc, who's obviously focused on Sebastian in front. And he so nearly ends up into the wall, losing his front wing. It's a real... Because I even think Paul di Resta, even though they were riding off board, even on commentary, he was like, whoa!
Yeah.
And that was the exact noise he made. So...
That was a very good impression, yeah.
Yeah.
So... It was
You should be booked in for functions.
functions. Apparently my neighbour...
Paul di Resta.
Yeah, apparently my neighbour knows Paul di Resta and Dara Franchitti and everyone. And
Future podcast
they've
guests.
been in our
Yeah.
house and everything, and I've never seen them. I've lived here for 5 years, but apparently my street is a home for former IndyCar and Formula 1 drivers.
Wow.
I need to keep my eye
Who
out.
knew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rope him into your bedroom and your podcast. That sounds so wrong.
No.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit wrong.
Yeah, I won't be roughing them up there, I'll tell you that. But I'll keep my eye out and let you know if anyone pops up in my street. But yeah, so close for Max.
Yeah, very lucky, but
Oh, yeah, Formula 1. Yeah.
Were you too busy fantasising about me roping in poor helpless race drivers?
I think he said, I'm going to change the subject, that check front wing because it was very close, wasn't it?
yeah.
But anyway, it was fine. I also just want to shout, we're bashing Valtteri there a bit. I don't remember Perez making many moves either around this point in the race.
Don't remember Perez full stop, to be honest.
No.
He did crash into the pit lane later on in the race.
Oh, yes, but I didn't
that
see
was
that at the time either.
No, you're right. I did not see Perez at all. Apart from...
And you have to think he was inside the top 10 in the Red Bull.
Yeah.
And you're like, to me it was similar to Bottas' performance. He's just started higher on the grid.
Yeah.
He went real long in his pit, didn't he? But that didn't really help him.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, when it was dry. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not much else really happens. So lap 13, Lando retakes the lead pretty comfortably.
Yeah, off
Uh,
camera.
Off camera.
Off camera. Yeah. It was closing for a while, wasn't it? Sainz did well to hold him off for
I think Sainz's tyres were knackered.
a lap or two. But
Because
yeah.
he lost 3.5 seconds to Lando in the next lap. And then pitted.
We've seen a trend all through the season that the Ferrari can be very quick in certain scenarios, but regardless, it wears its tyres quite a bit. I don't know if it's that in here, but yeah. If you think back to, again, Paul Ricard, they had none left.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the same, but it does. I don't know if they're running aggressive camber angles to get the speed or something, but it seems to chew its tyres a bit. It's a bit thirsty for Pirellis.
It was a shame for Sainz because that pretty much took him out the running because Lando Lando pitted, I think, lap 28, so like another 10 or 12 laps after Sainz.
Well, there was a slew of stops, wasn't there, early on? George Russell being one of them, trying to cover off. Was it after or before Sainz? I think it was after Sainz, the lap after.
Yeah, because Ricciardo pitted as well and had a real slow stop.
And they were all sort of, he had a slow stop, so it's a bit harsh. But for me, anyway, Russell and Sainz pitted too early. But if Sainz with tyres were gone, then fine. But Russell, certainly, because he's holding on to third, right?
Yeah.
Which is mad.
And really helping out Lando and Sainz as well.
Yeah, true. Which is why Lando's has this big gap. Partly because Lando has this big gap towards the end of the race, I think. Obviously, that amazing extra long stint he did on the tyres as well. But
yeah.
So George Russell's well out of the points at this point. Game over.
Yeah.
Like, you've gone from third, but through the strategy call, down to, like, I think it was 12th, 13th, 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't ideal.
No. I think it was like Vettel, Lewis then took Sainz to move up on the podium places. And then Alonso overtook Verstappen.
Yeah.
In turn 2, which I think Max was still on his original tyres at that point.
I think it was as well. But there's a video on the Formula 1 YouTube channel. It's like, Fernando Alonso's amazing overtakes in the Russian Grand Prix. And I was like, this is kind of a bit weird.
Well, yeah, everyone keeps bigging up this overtake like it's something incredible, but he literally just drives past him on the straight because he's clearly miles quicker. It's not.
He's certainly on mediums and Verstappen's on hards at this point. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But
I think so.
There's definitely a tyre difference there, isn't there? That's why it's happening, right?
Yeah, it's not like it's a great move or a great fight, and it just keeps getting bigged up. But I think
it's to take away the attention from lap 1, turn 2.
Probably, yeah.
Genuinely think it is that.
Okay. Big tempo hat on you tonight, then. Cover that one.
But
Just covering my dodgy haircut.
Yeah. Did you notice Ricciardo's pit as well? That
it was slow, right?
It was very slow, but they did the pit stop, and then he was being held in the box because I believe one of the wheel guns
get the light working.
Hadn't switched to say that they'd done it, so the light wouldn't go off because they thought that one of the tyres wasn't on.
Yeah, there was a guy signalling to the person with the gun, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like,
push the
pointing,
button.
pointing, like,
But just get rid of the lights and bring back the lollipop. That's why I think it worked much better.
Because the light system is semi-automated, but now they've pretty much made it all manual
now
again.
they've nullified it,
Yeah.
So, because remember when Ferrari brought it in, they were the first ones to bring it in, and it just kept going wrong, and people get
it did.
run over, and Massa went away with the fuel hose attached, things like that. But
Singapore,
that was because it was a semi-automated system, but the real thing now is basically it's all manual. They've got to actually push buttons.
Yeah, but every corner of the car has to push the button for it to be that way, so one of them messes up.
There's been a couple of teams had problems with this so far.
It's made the racing interesting, though.
True.
Wouldn't have Hamilton Verstappen at Monza.
No, that's very true.
No. Red Bull are moaning about this change because obviously they've lost
because they have advantage.
Yeah.
It's their job.
That's all Red Bull seem to do these days. Helmut Marko gets on his phone to his favourite journalist and has a whinge.
Yes.
I wish that man would just retire. He's
yeah.
Or at least shut him up. Somebody take his phone off him. It's a nightmare. Anyway, in the race, what happens? Not much.
Starts raining.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Lewis closes up to for like a second and a half of Lando. But it looks like Norris has got him covered, to be honest. He's not really putting much pressure on him.
Lewis, you can win this race.
Yes, interestingly, the AWS thing at one point said 5 laps till Lewis gets to Lando with an easy overtake. And took note of that. That was lap 33. And on lap 38, Lewis was still 2 seconds behind Lando. And was not really making much of a difference. No.
And it wasn't till lap 47 that the rain really started hitting. So, to be honest, if the rain didn't come, I think Lando would have quite easily won it.
Same.
We might have been in for a more interesting race in terms of track position. I don't know what I'm going to say there. Obviously, there's pandemonium, so that's interesting, right? But it could have been a titanic scrap for the lead with Hamilton on some worn rubber, but a quicker car. Anyway, it wasn't that, so move on.
No.
Yeah. Rain starts. I think Russell's the first one to pit. He pits really pretty much as soon as the rain comes. And
well, not in the points. Not much to lose at that point.
No, but then Ricciardo, I think a lap or two later. Lando and both Lewis ignore calls to come in the pits. And then lap 49, Lewis eventually listens to his team and comes in. Whereas Lando continues. And that's when it all starts to go wrong for him.
The key there, though, is that Mercedes have the messaging of there's going to be more coming. That's why you're coming in.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any McLaren team leader saying, no, there's going to be more rain on the way.
Apparently they never told Lando that there was going to be more rain. Whereas when they were speaking to Ricciardo, it was a pretty adamant between team and driver that he was coming in.
Right.
Whereas at this point, they didn't have the guts to overturn Lando's decision to stay out, basically.
No, and I think...
And then when they had stayed out, they were forced to stay out even more because that was the only way they could win.
I actually thought it was the right decision at the time. I thought the rain wasn't going to come down hard enough. There was only 2 laps to go, I think, at that point. But yeah, ended up being totally the wrong one. Although
they said in the commentary, like, oh, it can lose 6 seconds a lap. And I was thinking, oh, fine.
Yeah, but he lost a lot more than that. But I love the track.
Threw everything away.
They said to him on the radio, the track is slippy. And I just love his reply was, yeah, shut up.
Yeah. I was worried at the time it didn't pit. And
yeah.
I said afterwards it's a big mistake. But to be honest, if you're leading the race, it is a tricky call for them. I mean, saw Hamilton in Hungary, the only one not to pit on a drying track before the restart, and it cost them.
Yeah.
So when you're the lead
weird.
car, it is always difficult. So I think we can cut them a bit of slack for that. But
oh yeah, and the fact that you didn't get the message about more rain coming.
no,
Yeah.
but if the team knew there was going to be more rain, they should have said something.
Correct.
If they didn't know there was going to be more rain, then fair enough. But if Mercedes and every other team knew it was coming,
all the teams use the same weather software, so they all had the same information.
Dear.
I see a lot of people bluing up about Norris. What a petulant child.
Oh, shut up.
But then I think, you're in your 20s, you could win your first Grand Prix race. Kimi Räikkönen's far worse on the radio, right?
Yeah.
And he's definitely not a child. And also, I just think, there's the team has a point. People on social media seem to blame it purely on Lando. I think that's just a bit of journalistic hype as well from certain articles.
The other thing is, once Lewis pits first, you're either then trying to save a podium or stay out for the win.
Correct.
So, what do you do?
Stay out for a win.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I would do.
And to me, Lando won that race, I think, in terms of as a driver maturing. I've sort of effectively classed him as a race winner now because he did everything he could to get to that point.
And it will make him stronger.
Yeah.
My only slight reservation is, there's a very real chance that he'll never win a race again. Sorry, he'll never have a chance again, right?
No.
I mean, I know in theory he's good enough for it, and McLaren could be better, but
yeah,
new rules next year. That could be the one chance gone, squandered. Nico Hülkenberg.
Brazil 2012.
I want to say 2010 for some reason.
He was on in the Hockenheim race as well, in the Renault as well, right?
Yeah, and he binned it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was it 2010 he took pole at Brazil when he was in Williams?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but there was a race in the Force India, wasn't it, where he could have won it as well.
And then Hamilton tried to overtake him when coming across a lap car, and Hülkenberg lost the rear. Ah dear, poor Nico.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. Did you either of you see that clip where he was trying to drift the James Bond Aston Martin?
No.
It's very good. It's with Mark Higgins, who's a former British rally and rallycross champion, who is a stunt driver on the film.
Yeah.
And so Aston Martin, blah, 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 big PR thing. So they got the DB5 stunt car and Hulkenberg. They tried to drift it round Curva Alboreto. Parabolic, as it's formerly called, Colin. And so Higgins gets in and just does it in one take. And Hulkenberg's like, ooh, having a good time. Can't do it. Formula 1 drivers, they're just a different type of driving, isn't it?
Stroll and Vettel as well had the same problem.
Oh, they did a little Sky feature, didn't they, as well, which I watched on YouTube. At the Silverstone, they were trying to drift it round, weren't they?
Yeah.
Vettel could after a while, after nearly been in it, he did.
Yeah, he did okay.
Very nearly been in it. He did all right, yeah. And Stroll could do donuts in it.
Well, speaking of Stroll, though, he's got no Brad anymore, so...
Still had a moment, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Can you stay out on these tyres?
That was the last thing I had noted on this. Yeah.
Crash.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That whole sequence is comical.
It's hilarious. So before that, he almost kills Sebastian.
Oh, yeah.
Vettel tries to overtake him from the outside, and Stroll puts him in the wall. And then
second race in a row where he's done something to Seb.
Yeah, and then he hits him again on the exit of the corner. And somehow doesn't give him a puncture. Then there's the hilarity you just mentioned. 2 seconds after saying he can keep going, he puts it in the wall.
Then takes out Gasly.
Oh, well, just go home once. Just you should have just pitted then and just give up. But I think he does pit. They ask him what tire he wants, and he asks for softs again. But I'm assuming they.
Oh
gave him
yeah,
inters.
that's so weird. They go, "Do you want the softs?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want." I've just crashed on slicks. I'll go for slicks again, please.
So I think they must have given him inters. Either way,
I think they did.
He finished 11th, and Vettel ended up behind him somehow. What
Oh,
happened
yeah,
with
not sure
Seb?
Don't know.
No idea.
Because he ended up, it was ahead
I
of
think
them.
there was a lot of battling that wasn't even shown in the best of onboard videos. But like Alonso and Leclerc were having a good battle, weren't they? With was it Perez as well involved towards the end of the rain? That's a good one to watch back. Oh, no, we've already mentioned as well. Perez hit the entry wall, which is very lucky to continue.
So did Hamilton, didn't he, at some point, or was that in qualifying?
That was quali.
Ah, yes.
Oh, we've got to mention how in qualifying, Hamilton in Q3 hit the pit wall, then span into the wall on track.
Ah, yeah. Totally forgot about that.
Which is probably why he was in. Still got a P4, was it, out of it? So not bad considering he's crashed twice.
Yeah. Race results then. A lot of drivers benefited out the rain coming down.
Yeah.
Verstappen got up to second. Sainz got back to third. Ricciardo got up to fourth. Bottas went from like 13th to 5th.
Yep, excellent timing. Well, with him and Max for the tyre. I feel like Max was going to be sort of in the middle of the top 10 until the rain.
Yeah.
That's where the strategy seemed to play out.
Yeah. Poor Lando, ended up 7th, and they narrow avoided a penalty for trying to enter the pit lane and running wide back out of it.
I mean, very lenient that I felt.
Alfa Romeo are raging.
Are they?
Yes.
Well, I would be.
Rightly so, I think, because the president is
them the
penalty.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I commend the FIA for applying common sense for once, but
But why not common sense to anything else?
Exactly. They've set the precedence of it. Because remember, was it Yuki Tsunoda kept getting penalties earlier in the year? Was it?
Yeah.
Hungary
For going over the pit entry line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what race it was.
It was Austria.
Yeah.
It was this year.
Yeah, you're right. It was Austria. He kept getting penalties for it, so it's clearly you get a penalty if you run over the line, and he didn't. So lucky Lando, but Kimi, he was not bothered at all on the team.
I didn't see that.
Perez 9th, and then Russell 10th.
Mm-hmm. Lando did at least get fastest lap though.
Ah, yes.
All is not lost. I just felt so bad for him afterwards.
Yeah, especially with his interview. I didn't even watch all of it, but I just saw the start of it, and it's just like, he's about to cry any moment.
Do you see Hamilton, though, having a chat with him?
Yeah.
I thought that was all right. Did either of you see the comments just quickly about Verstappen and the Williams?
No?
It was along the lines of, oh, well, the Williams is much better than you thought. That's why Russell's been doing very well recently, apparently.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a better car than previous, but I also think that he's potentially out driving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
You'll never know. That's the weird thing about a sport where, the cars are different to each other.
Yeah. It's probably on a par with the Alpha, I'd have said, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The Alpha is weaker at some places, stronger at others.
If you think of the cars that have been beaten recently, it's not better than AlphaTauris, it's not better than Aston Martins,
no, it's not,
but he's still beating them. So full praise to George. I mean, that's a good run of results for Williams, where they've got points.
Definitely.
And we were saying at the start of the season, is George Russell ever going to get anything in Williams? And I think
once the floodgates have been opened,
to just
can't
keep
stop
on
them.
coming. I mean, P3 again in changeable conditions. That's incredible.
Yeah, I know, it's incredible.
So, championship, 4-point swing at the top. So Hamilton's now 2 points ahead of Verstappen. Bottas up to third, 12 points ahead of Lando now. Perez is still 5th. And at the bottom, Mazepin is still last behind Schumacher and Kubica.
Schumacher did retire this race, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
You got to stop the car, Mick, because there's an ongoing problem or something like this.
Yeah. We've run out of money.
Yep. The team's championship. This is where it's shown up that Red Bull really need Perez to get his finger out. So they're 33 points behind now in the teams. McLaren have got a 18 or 17.5 point lead over Ferrari. These half points are annoying. And Alpine are looking relatively comfortable in 5th as well now. And yeah.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah.
No. Williams 23 points. Alfa Romeo 7 now. But
Yeah.
How many for Haas?
None, shockingly. Yeah, not much to say about the team's championship. So next up, we're in Turkey, I believe.
Oh,
next week,
Yeah.
8th to the 10th.
Well, tune in to the next podcast for expert analysis. And when I say expert, I mean
Shoddy.
3 mates talking rubbish.
As long as it's dry this year. And
Yeah.
But that they'd put the new tarmac last year, hadn't they? Which was
Yeah.
pathetic.
Should be bedded in a bit more now.
They've blasted the track surface with water cannons or something, which is meant to help as well.
Oh, right.
So,
Right. Well, we'll see. Sounds good, but you don't know until you get there.
Yeah. So 7 races left now. I'm still going with Max for the title. You guys?
Whenever you say that, you have to sing the song.
No. I did it last week or 2 weeks ago. The week you were off, I did it.
Oh,
Talk about singing the songs. You still was the John Barnes rap.
yeah,
so.
I was just coming to that.
do I?
We've not got time tonight, but
I'm still sticking with Hamilton for the title. But there you go. I'm being contrary.
Yeah.
Or British bias, as someone from the Netherlands might say.
I'll go with Max myself, but it's going to be close.
Oh yeah, that's the main thing. If it's close, I don't mind. Don't have a preference.
So British touring cars then. Silverstone National Circuit, which I'm going to keep saying as I always say it. I want them to do the big track.
Yes.
Instead of having 2 Fruxtons next year, why not have a Silverstone National and a Silverstone Grand Prix?
Or even the International.
I don't know what that one is.
It's the other half.
That's the other half of the track. Yeah.
Alright.
It was in the original 2020 calendar before
wasn't
COVID
it? Yeah. And it just that was the track that was dropped.
For the first time in probably a decade, there was going to be a new track since Mondello Park.
Yeah.
But they skipped out again, both last year and this year.
But
don't know why.
we can hope.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be amazing for racing. It's something different.
Yeah, exactly.
You could try it and say, "Oh, well, that didn't work. We'll go back to the one next year." Like when they did the longer Alton Park in 2014.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? There was no overtaking, so we don't do it anymore. All right, fine. At least you tried it.
Yeah. I still miss
Actually, so that was probably the last time there was a new variation in the calendar. Actually, I take it back.
Yeah, I still miss Rockingham. It's a shame.
Well, does it exist anymore? Yeah.
They were knocking some of it down to turn into, I think, car parks for a car hire or something like that.
Oh, it might be that like all these old airfields and venues and stuff now get more money for just parking new cars that are unsold on it. This is something like £8 per car per day or something. If you put 6,000 cars in there, it's good earner.
It wasn't that old a track as well. It's like
I know, right?
it was like late 90s, early 2000s it opened.
I don't know, but I remember there was a IndyCar race there, wasn't there? Or was it kart back then?
2004 jumped into my head, but I've no idea why.
Oh, I think the first British touring car race might have been 2003. So it must be around early noughties. Yeah, they did a race there when Matt Neal drove for the Red Honda. So that's 2003, I think. And it had a different layout. It had this weird chicane at the start where cars would fly over it. That's my guess. So did it first open in 2002 then, as a guess?
2001.
Oh!
Yeah. 18 years as a track. That's such a shame.
This is where I say I've driven around it.
Have you?
I have.
Oh.
In a
Fast
Panda?
or in a Panda? Yeah, I was going to say that.
Close. It was in a Bath 500, which is the same chassis.
Yeah.
Same car underneath. And then also like what they called like a V8 touring car. Like, you know, the Australian supercar series? Not that. But something that was like a smaller, lower down entry level class version of that. They had a race series in the Middle East, and when that race series folded, Rockingham bought like a few of the cars, and you could do a touring car experience. Yeah, Lisa got me as a birthday present. It was amazing.
Nice.
But you don't use the banking. It was like an inner variant. Still cool though. Anyway, how have we got onto this? British touring cars.
Touring cars. They returned the top 10 shootout, which put Rory Butcher on pole with Tom Ingram, Aidan Moffat, and Josh Cook behind. Jason Plato made it in the top 10, but was slow.
Yeah.
No more to say about that. Shedden, 14 for another disaster.
That was bad. Now, he had a paddy afterwards. I don't know if either of you caught this interview.
He had a what?
Yeah.
A meltdown, a paddy. I don't know what paddy
paddy?
is. It's like a when a child throws a strop.
Yeah.
All right.
And Louise Goodwin was like, "What happened there?" And he was like, I don't want to say it now because I can't remember what he was saying, but it was very, very, very short. And then he actually stormed off at the end.
Yeah.
Full marching mode. I mean, too bad qualifying's on a bounce when he's not heavily laden with ballast. So
that car looked horrible though.
It did. It was all over the shop.
Yeah. But
I think the embarrassing thing here is
the driver and the team for that though, because the driver's the one who says what direction to go with.
Correct. I mean, his teammates out-qualified him again. But I think the more embarrassing thing is that BTC Racing are laying it down this season.
Yeah.
With equipment built by that team.
Yeah.
So, there's big sponsorship behind that team with a big name driver, and they have to finish well at the final 2 rounds, I think, in order to keep things going for next year.
I'm not sure we'll see Shedden next year, to be honest.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
I hope so.
I
hope so.
But he's been really erratic and inconsistent.
Oh, I love the shop. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good meetings, but a lot of poor ones.
Yeah, and Robot has been relatively steady.
Surprising. Yeah, very surprising. And, like I said, BTC Racing. And we'll never know this, but part of me thinks if Dan Camish was in one of those cars, they would be in championship contention.
I agree.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to counter that, I think. But then, you never know that, so you can't really argue it.
No.
Especially based on just jumping in at Thruxton at the start of the year and grabbing podiums. You know.
Yeah, didn't even do
I just think
that day.
Yeah, right, exactly. And slightly different car, different team, in different car because of different engine, so different characteristics. And I just think, I don't know the politics behind it, and we'll never know, or the money behind it, and all this thing. You've got to keep the sponsors happy and stuff like this. It could be that Shedden's a bigger draw as a name, which is certainly true in Britain.
Yeah.
But, remember when the announcement for Dan Camish not coming, it was kind of like, it was billed as like, a last-minute thing, and he's been left without a drive now because he didn't know. So there was clearly some consideration going on there. There was also rumours about trying to get a third car and stuff. I just think, if there was a possibility on the table to make that work financially, I kind of feel like he would have done a better job.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
Just my personal theory. Please don't hate.
No, he's clearly a better driver than the two that are currently in.
And listen, I'd love to see Shedden still in there as well. I'd love to have my cake and eat it. Have Rowbottom, Shedden and Camish on the grid somewhere. But, as is often the case with British touring cars, there's the financials behind it.
Yeah. I hope he's back next year, Shedden.
Me too.
Shedden and...
yeah, me too. Both.
Camish. Oh my God. Brain melt.
We got there in the end.
Yep.
It was interesting that both Astras were in the top 10 as well.
Second good qualifying in a row, right? Weren't they pretty handy in qualifying for Croft?
Yes, but they're always complaining about power. And yet, what is Silverstone as a track? It's a power track.
The overheating traffic apparently as well.
Yeah.
Which is what you were talking about previously with their intercooler design.
Yeah. They've only got 6 corners around here. So,
yeah.
It is definitely, like you say, Nick, a high-speed track. And, Croft, Plato made it into top 10, but Lloyd didn't. So perhaps I'm going overboard with their qualifying results there, just to be clear. But yeah, you're right. And yeah, we've talked about intercooler design before as well, and that seems to be a thing. But what I would counter that with was in the final race, Lloyd was able to stick with Hill.
Yeah.
Close. He wasn't able to re-overtake, but I don't know. We're not in the car, are we? So I don't want to target it too hard.
So, race 1, and shenanigans before it even starts, as
Ah, yes.
One of the F4 cars, I think it was, had blowing oil onto the track on Rory Butcher's pole position pit box, starting grid box. Yeah, just that one. So they had to hose it down, soap it up, and push all the oil
They delayed
and water
the start,
off.
right?
Yeah, they delayed it by like 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they did move everyone back 2 grid spaces to give Butcher a chance. But the team manager,
I forgot his name as well.
Yeah,
Christian Dick.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
The team manager was interviewed before, and he thought that the might was 3 or 4 rows of positions off the start.
To which David Addison says he looks like a rabbit of negative euphoria, which is a new expression on me.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. I think at one point they called Josh Cook a weapon, but that's not a compliment to Scotland. You call someone a weapon.
Is it not?
Not really. There was a few funny ones. They not say there was like one of them was he's like a fat lad eating chocolate or something like that as well.
Oh, he has got a fat lad one, but I don't know. I can't remember what it is. I don't think it's eating chocolate.
I think that was at the last meeting as well.
Yeah, he did have a few this
weekend.
Come to me. Oh, there was one. It was a penguin with a fish allergy or something like that. I was just like, how did you come up with that? How does that come into your head?
I'm sorry, but that's. He's got a list. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, he must have. He commentates on everything.
Yeah, he does.
Man.
He does.
Well, fair
every
play.
series.
Fair play for doing that, because the work ethic there is second to none. I mean, I think I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't think you're going to be a millionaire ever by being a commentator, but he manages to do every single race, and I'm sure that's, if you don't mind giving up every single weekend, then must be a good job, must be a good gig. At one point he said Cook looks racy, and Lisa lost her mind at that comment, actually. She's like, yeah, he's in a race, what do you expect? I was like, oh yeah, fair point. It's a stupid expression.
It is, yeah. I've used it myself.
Yeah, I have as well. Everybody does.
So race 1 start. Butcher gets away reasonably well, but then hits the wet patch, and Ingram goes through.
Yeah.
Morgan and Neat collide during going through turn 1, where Neat ends up spinning with a tear off.
Yeah.
You can't really see it on camera. I think, Nick, you watched it before this podcast, right?
Yeah, you can see both of them go off together, but Neat's already backwards by the time he comes into camera shot. So, don't know what happened, but other things happened afterwards. Yeah, so there's apparently an altercation in the pit lane between Andy Neat and I think it's Adam Morgan's dad. Yeah, Russell Morgan.
Which
former rally driver in a Mercedes.
And Andy Neat picks up, I think, a reprimand and a couple of penalty points. I can't remember the decision, but for starting a confrontation, he got himself in trouble. Good old Andy Neat. But why did he go after his dad? Why did he not go after the guy that hit him off? Like, what a weird thing to do.
He might have been in the toilet.
Yeah.
Back in the day, though, didn't I've forgotten his name now. Father Neil. What's Matt Neil's dad's called?
Steve.
Didn't he just give everyone like a good scene to after every race? He never got penalty. I suppose he's not a driver, is he? So what can you do? I remember, 2016 Thruxton. Apparently, he was quite abusive towards Josh Cook, but perhaps less said about that the better. Yeah, we weren't there. Sorry, should have mentioned that.
Yeah. Dan Lloyd gets up to third as Shedden and Smelt collide.
Yeah.
Going through. It's the final hairpin, isn't it? They collide.
Oh, yeah, no, weird one that. Proctor got points in his licence for that.
Yeah.
But from the camera angle and the half the replay that we saw, Shedden looks like his 4 wheels off the track, comes back on into
Smelt.
Proctor, who then taps him into Smelt, if that makes sense. Like, the rear of Shedden's car crosses the bow with the front of Proctor, so it then spears him into Smelt quite heavily. But Proctor's got points, so I'm wondering if there was something before that led to Shedden being out there,
possibly,
that we didn't see on camera. Because
that explains it. Because I thought Shedden had something broke on the car, which is what pushed him into him. But that would explain if there was other.
No, there's definite contact with Proctor. You have to freeze frame it and slow motion the footage. But for me, if that's what they're judging it on, it's a bit of a weird call, but there must be something off camera that we didn't see, which maybe Proctor shoved him off there to start with. Speculating, though.
Then, talking about weird steward decisions, Rory Butcher then retakes the lead from Tom Ingram into Brooklands. Well, there's a waved yellow at Brooklands because someone's parked up. I think it might be the Sam Smelt's car.
Yeah.
Can't really remember. But there's waved yellows go into Brooklands and round the rest of that sector. But he takes the lead and gets to keep it. And the explanation that's given is that you draw an imaginary line from where the flag is, and he got the move done before it. Which, to me, is complete and utter nonsense. If they are waving a yellow flag at the side of a corner, you don't nick through up the inside. You don't overtake.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming
as well.
Right. I'm assuming they didn't see it, but retrospectively, he should not have kept that place.
Yeah, see, I didn't realise that at the time. I thought it was such a good overtake, but then was Ingram defending so much because there was yellows?
Well, we don't know, do we?
No.
To me, I have not seen this, so apologies. And I only saw after the fact that it was like a controversial thing. I didn't realise it during the race.
No, same for me.
Yeah. So where is the flag marshal standing?
So on the right hand side, on the way into Brooklands, there's a
on the way
post. Yeah. So it's not in the driver's line, eye line. It's on the right hand side. So
but it's a corner entry though, which is where the move's happening, right?
Correct. So if you draw an imaginary line straight across the track, it's probably just as you're turning through Brooklands.
But is it, even if he's ahead, is he not still side by side with Ingram at that point?
Yeah. So
the move is in progress under the yellow flag zone. Well, people listening might disagree with me there because again I've not checked it. But if it's as you described, Colin, that sounds a bit weird to me.
I've never seen a race where someone's driving up to yellow flag zone and then nicks up, guessing that they've got past.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Fernando Alonso, doesn't that set a precedent now for every other overtake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I was overtaking next to a yellow flag, but the front of my car was alongside as I passed the flag.
Yeah, I don't get that reasoning for drawing an imaginary line across. If you're driving towards a yellow flag, you just don't overtake. That's the spirit of the rule. Whether the rule's written differently or not, I'm shocked that it stood. But Butcherman gets to keep the win.
Well, it was a good move until I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bizarre. Sutton then gets past Rowbottom.
Perfect move.
Sets the move up well through Luffield, running wide, and that gives him the inside going to Cops.
Yeah, man, that was smooth moves.
He did that all day.
Yeah.
Great.
Most of the entertainment was following Jake Hill's non-progress.
Yes. Battling hard for 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st
With
again.
Clearly a very, very slow car in a straight line there.
Yeah. Apparently he had big setup issues as well, which were resolved for the next race.
Right.
But
it helps that...
Yeah, no weight.
Yeah. I mean, it was slow on the straight, and that's because of the weight.
Yeah.
When you're watching, it's obvious he's losing half a car length.
Because they were saying they re-engineered the entire front end in between race 1 and 2. Although that seems
that might be. You might not be
overcomplicated.
Yeah. Can I design a new front subframe, please?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I don't think they went that far.
I think it was Chilton and Hill that collided into Luffield towards the end, and then Jack Goff snuck through.
I think
so, it was. Yeah, I've got in my notes here rubs with Chilton. So yeah, Hill lost out he was fighting hard and lost a few positions towards the end. I think
he did. Yeah, he got as high as 18th. I saw that, and then vanished again.
So I think no points there. We might have got some independent points though, due to the vagrancies of that scoring system, but
probably.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works. They just seem to give a trophy to someone at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
I remember.
Don't follow that one.
2008? It might be 2008. Giovinazzi won the title overall, right? Matt Jackson finished second in the standings, Turkington third, but Turkington was first in independence and Jackson was second.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
Sutton got fastest lap with maximum ballast as well.
New lap record as well.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That car is getting pinned back next year.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Ash.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's not been winning loads of races, but he's just consistently in the
pace
points.
is there.
It's clearly driving for the championship the last few rounds, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Well done, Dan Lloyd, finishing third.
Yeah.
Stuck under the radar, good result.
Yep, Moffat as well. Plato 10th.
Plato got biffed at the start, right? But then fought his way back up to 10th, I thought. We didn't see it on track, on camera, but there was some battle scars with the rear of his car, I felt.
Yeah.
In this race.
Proctor had a pretty anonymous weekend, finished 14th.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, not much else.
No.
There's always one thing that we say, but there's not much to say on this time.
No.
Oh, yeah, come on, that's your cue.
Yeah, but he was in the gravel. Well, not in the gravel. He was parts next to the track.
Yeah.
Right.
And for race 2, he then pitted at the end of lap 1. So,
So, race 2, Dan Lloyd gets a terrible start.
yeah.
Drops back, but Butcher manages to keep the lead. Nick Hamilton's off at Beckett's, and there's a safety car. I felt a bit sorry for him. He's in the middle of 3 cars, and he gets a nudge from the inside and goes across the front car Bordley.
Yeah.
Brings out the safety car. Cook then dives up the inside of Ingram, but Ingram manages to cut over the inside curve at Warfield, basically going on the grass. I don't know how cars survived that over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically over the curb onto the rough stuff and out in the grass, and there was talk of problems, but nobody really retired after it. So
No. Jake Hill fought back through.
Yeah.
Finally. Up in the points.
And then,
a couple of big incidents.
yeah.
Ollie Jackson hits the back of Smiley and then drops down, so he broke something.
Yeah.
Oh, another unlucky weekend for Ollie Jackson.
Yeah.
Although he didn't do very well in qualifying without any ballast, so that's where the problem started there.
And then, you're right, it all kicks off.
Yes.
So I think first is Jade Edwards and Gordon Shedden. So coming out of left field through Woodcote, I think it looks like Shedden tries to go up the right-hand side of her.
Yeah.
And she just pushes him off the track
Into
on
the
the
pit
grass, over the pit lane, and then she follows him onto the grass. They collide on the grass, and she goes spinning across the track into the gravel on the opposite side, and is out.
Could have been a huge crash.
Yeah.
But Shedden continues. If we saw it late on the onboard cam or the TV cameras, it cut to it in progress.
They're both in a weird position on the track, right?
Yeah.
It's unorthodox,
But
even from that angle.
There's some fan photos on Twitter who I was going to credit, but I can't remember now. But it shows it slightly earlier, and it does look like Jade's just tried to close the door far too late and puts them both on the grass.
Yeah, because first viewing, it's like, what's Shedden doing? But when you look back at it, it's like, he's been pushed there.
If you search Shedden's name on Twitter after the race, it was people tweeting, "How dare he take her Jade Edwards off again?" and all this. And then I watched it back and I was like, no, that doesn't look like that. What happened?
It's just such a weird angle. It's like, wow, why are they there? Anyway, she got 2 penalty points for that.
Yeah, right.
Quite deserved. That's really dangerous. With the
I'm
pit
wondering
wall coming towards you.
Yeah, I'm going to stir the pot a bit and say that's some retaliation for Thruxton, maybe, but not ideal.
Yeah, Shedden got points for that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Thruxton.
So 1-1.
For me, the main takeaway from this wasn't the weird incident, but I feel like the safety car came out pretty late, and there's no way that the car's stuck in the gravel. Again, not our jobs. Difficult to call. Don't know the full context. It was at least a lap, I felt.
You're right. Yeah, because they were racing when it was double wave yellows for at least one lap.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, well, we had the next incident was before the safety car was even called, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Safety cars are a bit of a problem in the sport races as well, and then this incident could have been a big one. Max Verstappen-esque. Carboard that gets ahead of Andy Neat, I believe.
There was one other car involved as well, but I'm not sure who it was.
Parfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Parfit or Butel?
I'm going to say Parfit.
Yeah, I think you're right. Butel had a decent weekend. Just it was on TV and done all right. But yeah, you're right. So Bordley turns in, and all of a sudden there's a whack, and he goes flying off into gravel.
It's a big hit.
Now, I'm not sure if Neat's got his nose up the inside from the onboard shot, or if he just whacks him in the back.
Yeah, because
we don't know.
POV, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's pictures of Bordley circulating afterwards with his bumper hanging off. So that's always a big thump.
I mean, Andy Neat definitely drove into the back of him, but was he pushed by the other car?
Yeah, we don't know if Parfit's involved in the mix there, right?
We couldn't see.
No. It could just be that he was trying to dive past Parfit and over-egged it.
Yeah.
Or it could be that it was... Yeah. Either way, there's no penalties or adjudication on that at all.
Yeah.
So that actually suggests there's maybe the other car is involved in there.
I'm sure they've got a circuit camera there, so I'm imagining they'll be able to see it all. But
yeah, it was on board as well.
It was weird that we didn't see anymore.
Yeah.
We only had the onboard shot.
I mean, he'd already turned into the corner.
Have they not had history? Was it not the
Yes.
that class last year?
Probably.
He got Andy Neat disqualified from everything.
Andy
Waited
Neat
a
has
lap
history
and
with the
took him
whole
out.
grid.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he waited a lap for Bordley to come around again and hit him.
Yeah. Never good.
Oh, no. So,
Anyway, stewards did nothing on that, so it must be fine.
And
No.
at this point, Sam Smelt set the fastest lap.
Oh, my God.
No way.
He did.
Well done.
Yeah,
Didn't
well
keep
done.
it, but he did set it.
Yeah. Restart. There was a good fight between Cook and Ingram. Proctor is somehow miles off the road at Beckett, so I'm assuming someone's hit him off.
Oh, flashing
Or
his lights,
exit.
wasn't he, and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming someone's hit him. Sutton tries to get past Turkington. He's quite aggressive, but then backs out of it.
Mm.
He let him go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Turkington then chucks it around outside of Brooklands and takes fourth.
Yeah, that was a lovely move.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a nice move. Final lap, and Cook makes a mad dive up the inside of Rory Butcher into Brooklands, but goes in too fast.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the corner.
Just a bit too fast.
To be fair, Butcher did well to avoid him because he just comes in at
yeah.
a million miles an hour. So Butcher holds on to the lead. Moffat tries to take fourth back from Turkington in the last corner. Can't do it, and I think he lets Sutton pass.
Yeah, I thought at first it was like a team order style thing, but I think Sutton actually just got a run on him where he tried to overtake Turkington.
It's good for Sutton that Moffat is quick enough these days to be considered for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Going into the final two rounds, it's definitely a strong suit because Turkington's teammates are all over the shop at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, very inconsistent. Josh Cook gets excluded after the race. I think for right height.
It was.
Yeah, did you see it?
They couldn't get the roller underneath.
Ah, dear.
Yeah, but they could on one side.
Yeah, but they couldn't on the. Was it right?
Yeah, when
side?
he went through the grass over the curb.
Yeah.
And they could get it partially into there. There's got to be. The rule has to be strict because it's preventing people cheating.
Yeah.
But to me, there needs to be an exception where if the left side is lower than the right side, no one's done that deliberately.
Yeah.
It's not NASCAR. It's not oval racing. You don't set the car up like this on the side.
They are supposed to be appealing this. I don't know if they're going to, but they do have the option to, which might get him his result back for this race, but it's still bugging him for race 3.
It's ruined his championship. Because he's lost second position. He's given more points to Turkington and Sutton. Then has to start the back of race 3 with the race 2 ballast result in the car. And it just felt a bit harsh to me.
Yeah.
I feel like when the whole of the front is maybe damaged, whatever, they can't get it under all of it or stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's. I suppose the area here is a big grey area in the rules, and it has to be. Oh, sorry, there isn't a grey area in the rules. It has to be black and white. You're in or you're out. But watching the footage of the roller going under, I felt, that's harsh.
Yeah,
that's very, very harsh.
Marginal as well, wasn't it?
Very marginal because it could actually go under, maybe just not all the way under. And again, like I say, on the left side when you're looking at the car, it couldn't, but on the right side, it could clearly.
Yeah.
You wonder why they don't do it at the start of a race.
What I want to know is it only the top 3 that get it?
I don't know. Because remember, not Kill a couple years ago, 2 cars got excluded. I think it's Sutton and Ingram.
I don't think it's just the top 3, but I think they're the ones that are done because they're in their separate Parc Fermé bit for the interview.
Well, that's fine then.
So that's why we see that.
Right. But it wasn't a good look for the championship, I don't think, and I felt it's weird. And if you think back to 2019 when Josh Cook was last in contention for the overall title, Silverstone was a pivotal race for him as well. That time it was contact with someone else and the suspension broke and he had to retire from the second or third race. So it seems like he's the king of Thruxton, but he's very unlucky at Silverstone.
Yeah. I don't know why they just don't do the right height check at the start of the race and then take into consideration damage at the end. Because it's clearly... It's to avoid people cheating the setup. It's not to disqualify.
Yeah, right, which is a very good rule. Very good rule.
Yeah.
We don't want any cheating.
Just seems unfair.
I hope they appeal it, and I hope they win. I've got a feeling that it'll just be put in a corner and forgotten about and never talked again. Yeah. But it's a huge. It actually took out a contender for the championship there.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And it spiced up race 3 as well.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Dornan, who was driving the hybrid all weekend, he was the one picking out the ball for the reverse grid, and he picked out Jason Plato. So I'm going to get a bit tasty. But when Cook got disqualified, pole position went to his teammate, Dan Lloyd.
Jordan did do one other thing this weekend as well. He drove around at the back for most of it, but he did overtake one car.
Oh, did he? I missed that.
And it was a WSR car.
Hey.
Was it?
He overtook Oliphant in race 2.
No way.
Yeah.
What was Oliphant doing back there?
He wasn't having a good race. He was out the points anyway, so it doesn't affect anything. But I just thought it was funny that the only car he really overtook, apart from cars flying off, was Oliphant's BMW.
Right.
Yeah, I think he pitted at the start of race 3.
Yeah.
There was a problem with the car. But
okay.
That's what this test was for. So
yeah, exactly.
So race 3, Dan Lloyd on pole, Plato on second. Plato gets a terrible start, drops to 4th.
And turns in on Jelly at the first corner.
Yeah.
When there was ample space to run out wide and try and get a cut back or something like this. He just biffs into the side of his door. I'm not in the car again. Sorry, Jason. Really, very, very sorry. Benefit of hindsight, keyboard warrior. If you look in the background, one of the Infinities does the move that you should have done, though. Sorry. Where they realise that someone's along their right, so they swing out left before the corner and try and get a cut back and a run on someone.
Yeah.
There you go.
He also had a bad weekend. I can't remember if it was Silverstone the week before, because in the car park he reversed into someone's BMW.
Did he?
He posted on Twitter, "I'm sorry, I hit your car. If this is your car, please contact
I didn't see
that. And so we'll get it sorted." So yeah, he smashed up someone's back end in the car park. I can't remember if it was this weekend or the weekend before, but it was on Twitter this week. I saw it. So poor Jason's not having a good time.
Oh dear.
Poor lad.
That 100th win. Well, Hamilton beat him to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yes, I've got Smelly, got Plato here. Shedden's slow off the line and drops to last.
Yeah.
No points this weekend for him. Just, disaster. Then, not much happens. I've got here until it all kicks off.
Yes.
The free wide going over the start line with Jackson, Tuckington and Taylor Smith. And Sam Osborne sticks his nose up the inside as well, going through cops. All gets a bit tight. Chilton gets ahead of Osborne, but then swipes across the front end of him, and
Dangerous.
both of them go spinning.
Yeah.
Osborne sitting horizontally across the track is
not good.
Always terrible.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what Chilton was thinking there, but then that's because I'm not Tom Chilton.
He obviously doesn't know Osborne's there, but he should know Osborne's there because he just went past him.
Yeah. I mean, he was avoiding Shedden, but the point is you can use the brakes to avoid. You don't just have to use the steering wheel.
Very true. So yeah, that was dodgy from Tom.
Yeah, very, very lucky not to have a serious incident there.
Yeah, been our bad weekend. Smiley then took third from Jelly through cops. Lap 10, Hill gets up inside the Woodgate and takes the lead through cops on Dan Lloyd. Lloyd doesn't fight it too hard.
No.
Manages to stick with him the rest of the race. Have a couple of half moves on him, but not really. And he said in his post-race interview afterwards he was quite happy to let it go and just take the podium. It's fair enough.
Yeah, it was good on him to stick with Hill. Thought that was impressive pace.
Yeah, I did as well. It was very nicely done.
And he did. I agree with him also. He needs a couple of good, solid results, podiums. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Sutton then pulls the cut back again on Jelly. Another really nice move.
Mm-hmm. It's not just the car, though, right?
It's not.
There's a racecraft element that you just don't see with anyone else. It's like Shane Van Gisbergen in his supercars in Australia, right? They've just got this sharpness.
Yes, I agree.
Oh yes, do you get that reference?
I got it, but I haven't watched it. But I've seen the headlines of it enough times.
Yeah.
Just puts the car where other people don't expect it.
Yeah.
Roman Grosjean in IndyCar at second.
There we go. That's a better reference.
Morgan and Goff have contact, which almost spins the Cooper. He didn't well catch it. Lap 16, Sutton's passes Smelling, exit Cops. He went
Snags
to the
a
right hand
podium.
side, and Smelly puts him on the grass, but he still manages to get the move done. So he gets a podium.
Keeps the throttle down on the grass.
Yep. And then the last big move was Tuckington pulled the switchback on Rowbottom to get up to 8th. But another race where Colin lost points. And a great weekend for Ash Sutton, despite not winning.
Yeah. Well, do you want to cover the gaps in the point standings?
Sure.
I've jumped ahead there. Sorry. Did you have a final say on that race, Nick?
Oh no, I was just going to say Turkington did very well to make up those last few places there. Those extra couple of points could be quite crucial.
I think it's over, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that feeling as well. And our friend finished 20th. So
He did indeed.
So if Ash Sutton leads with 285, right? So that is quick. I was going to say mental maths, but I'm typing in a calculator. So that's 36 points ahead of. Yeah. 36 points ahead of second place. I mean, I've always said, and I said it in an earlier podcast, the rule is with British touring cars every year, if you're within 40 points of the championship leader with 2 rounds left, that means you're in contention.
Yeah.
But normally, second place is close to 36.
Yes.
And actually, if you look, Colin Turkington is exactly 40 points behind in fourth. He's almost out of that. And Cook is way down now. Like 60 odd points now. But again, I still think that disqualification ruled him out of it, because it's not only that second place points, it's the top 10 finish potentially in race 3 as well, right? And the points to Sutton. But yeah, it's over. So it's 4-horse race in my opinion.
It is.
Turkington, Hill, Ingram, Sutton.
Sutton's to lose, basically.
Yeah, and he knows that for the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And he's at Donington next, where he was quite strong last year.
Yes.
And you'll probably dominate. So, I mean, this weekend really impressed me. I mean, full ballast, and he's got a 7th, he got a 4th, and then he got a 3rd. Like, he kept going forward all weekend, and he's not lost out. He's ended up gaining, despite not winning.
Oh, but it's a rear-wheel drive circuit, Colin.
Oh, sorry.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. The fact he's done that at that circuit with maximum ballast, I mean, class.
He's not had a race weekend this year where it's been a disaster. He's not a big contact on anything.
Exactly.
So
Right, you watch it. Craner curves. It's happening.
this is everyone's last hope that he does something daft. Or he
He's
gets
doing the
hit off
Plato
it.
roll at Donington.
Yeah. Unless something disastrous that goes wrong at Donington, I think he's got this sewn up.
Definitely.
He just needs to tick along nicely at Donington. Still have a good lead, but just enough. He just needs to have an average weekend, right? So he's still got a good lead, but there's still 3 other people in contention, so they can hype up the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 people could win it. Well, could they? Actually, they told me 10 people can win it. Oh yeah, if everyone else retires and they win every single.
Matt Neal's still in with a chance.
It's probably not worth making the trip down to Brands Hatch for the end of the season, because it's probably going to be sewn up.
Oh no, that's coming soon, isn't it? We do need to sort that.
23rd, 24th of October.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, not far at all.
So yeah, 2 rounds left. British Touring, or 6 rounds. I always say rounds, but
No, 2 rounds, 6 races.
Yeah.
Come on.
There you go.
But they do not put it as rounds on their YouTube channels. Round 23. Round
They do
24.
actually.
They do. You're right.
Get it sorted, YouTube.
There was a second there where your brain was trying to process that. And you're like, oh no, we've got rounds. Yeah, you're right. 2 more race meets, 6 more races. That's it. Formula 1, 7 more races. You are there.
It's winter. It's dark. It's cold. I've got a jumper on.
It's bloody cold.
It's
so cold.
End of the racing.
So, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that the weekend.
It was good.
And
race 1 was a little bit flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I think. You need that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah. I'm a bit disappointed there's nothing on this weekend now. And IndyCar's also finished. So there's
Well, you can spend the weekend editing a podcast instead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, any more from you two?
No, that's it for me.
No, other than a small British touring car news thing, which is next year. It's not very exciting. The Ginetta G55 for the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup is going to be replaced with the Ginetta G56. It looks the same, but it's got a V8 engine as opposed to a V6. So it actually might sound different if you're a spectator, which is quite interesting.
True.
And Aaron Taylor-Smith signed on for another year.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. But he signed on ages ago, and they've only released it now, because the video announcing his signing on, where he's like, I can't wait for this multi-year deal, he's filmed at Knockhill.
So about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Interesting, that.
Yeah. They could at least hit it. They could have filmed it in a toilet or something that's nondescript.
Just do a Zoom call or something,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear. So, that's only about driver news. It all kicks off in...
That's the early driver news, though, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
It's normally February.
So Jack Goff and Taylor Swift next year? Teamed up again?
Yeah, both confirmed.
Oh, is Goff confirmed?
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So,
weird one just on the Cupras, because I know I've got Dash, but started the season very well when it was weirdly unproven. The more testing they've done, the worse they've got.
True, yeah, they have.
Bizarre, isn't it? It's how setup works sometimes, though, isn't it? You end up chasing your tail.
I'm a bit disappointed with Jack Goff. I always expect big things from him, and it's not happening.
He had a good
start
start to the year. Didn't he nearly get a podium?
Yeah, well, he was like the only person apart from Jack Hill to score points in every round up to a certain point, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
There's 2 weeks, a week, whenever this goes out, until
Turkey
and Donington. We'll be back for another 2-hour epic, so hopefully one of them's boring.
Yeah.
1 hour 24. We're doing not.
Hey, this is good. This is good.
This is good.
This is not bad.
Well done.
We're 8 minutes over your hard out deadline. But
Yeah, I know. That's not worked out well.
No, so we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. So thank you for downloading. Give us a follow on Twitter at Final Corner Pod, where we occasionally tweet once a month. And we'll see you then.
Or, if you want to give us some abuse, tweet Manor House. That's at Manor House, and he'll sort it out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, or a week, or whenever. Bye.
Bye.
See you then.
One day I'll get good at exits.